All right, guys. So we're looking at the second of a total of three podcasts. I am definitely reaching my total potential, and I hope you are reaching yours. Now, what I would like to do is let our guests introduce themselves, please.
My name's Grant Ferguson. I'm a artist from Canada, Vancouver to be exact. I paint with a spoon as of recent, and yeah, I've been in art my whole life, and it just keeps growing.
Great. Now, what would you say was the inspiration getting into art? Was it something more of a personal thing that you did on your own? Was it the environment around you, like friends or family? Um,
Um, I think honestly, it was like a therapeutic thing that I didn't even realize was therapeutic at the time. It took me damn near 30 years to figure that's what it was.
wow.
But then I do remember seeing a lot of things like album covers when I was a kid that really intrigued me because I'd see my grandparents' records, and records back then were so colorful and so out of this world that like I have like really good memories of seeing stuff like that. Like, kept my interest.
Hmm. That's nice because it's like for me, my dad has always told me work my strengths and hire my weaknesses. And one thing that I've really never able to get down is inception, like the inspiration of drawing where, taking the first step of a design. I'm a great step 2 designer, right? Once I actually have the inspiration, once I actually have the TP, right? That it inspires me. But I've just never had the ability to put pencil to paper and translate that. So that's pretty cool. And that's why I like talking to different people from, different backgrounds. And you've also said that you'd also have a background in architecture as well, correct?
Well, I'm an electrician by trade,
Yeah.
so I'm in construction a lot. So I see a
Sure.
lot of design, and I see a lot of things I like, a lot of things I don't like, and a
Oh,
lot of things I would
okay.
change.
Okay.
So yeah, like it's in my world, I'm constantly trying to improve everything around me, whether it
Wow.
actually happens or not.
Would you say that if you were to, let's say, make $50 million off the Adam Sandler piece or something, would you want to go into architecture and design your own home? Like, would that be something that would be really fun, or would you want to design a building, or like if what would you say would be like an unattainable or at least a seemingly unattainable goal for you? Like, and
Oh, for
think about
sure.
it. You can think about it for a second too. That it's like, and also you don't have to limit yourself. A lot of people say that too, but uh, yeah.
No,
What's
I
like
would
that
love
dream, dude?
I would love to design my own home. Like I always have ideas, especially working in construction. I see the things that didn't work or the things that, people just didn't think of or whatever, or is out of reach because of money. But if money wasn't an object, like how could you improve it so that it's literally autonomous, but really not? You know what I mean? Like I don't want buttons and everything everywhere. It just needs to be a little smarter.
Yeah.
And everything's so rushed nowadays that's why I feel like none of that happens because everybody just needs to pump it out to get paid
Oh,
instead of take a little bit extra time and maybe everything works a little better and a little smoother. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, I'd love to design my own house. From that being said, I also want to have my own studio, like my own away from home.
Yeah.
So I
Exactly.
can design that. I can have like areas where music's happening, painting's happening, all of this different shit's happening, and I can get other artists to be there as well.
Yeah.
So that would be definitely something I would design. I, like I said, everything around me, if I can try to improve it, make my life or everyone around me's life easier, I'm sitting there thinking about it.
That's great. That's great. That's great to have somebody like that. That I mentioned that we're building a virtual stage right now. That I was,
Yeah.
talking about a little bit of feedback with that, where also to have the correct dimensions to be able to bring it into real life once we actually have that opportunity, right? Um, and the most interesting thing about the virtual reality with the Unreal Engine, which is what my cousin's using, um, we also could go a little bit wild too, in a sense, that, I was looking at Fortnite with Travis Scott, but I'm not trying to be cartoony, right? Like I
Yeah.
want to get like design level accuracy with a virtual stage, and I want to patent it. Like I need to create like a virtual patent system where it's like, hey, like this is our design, you know.
Yeah.
So what do you think much about that? Like how could we make a stage more efficient or more modular? Like something that comes to my mind is all of the different subwoofer boxes where you could almost create a platform out of the subwoofer boxes in a sense, and then I don't know, like a modular stage. But I don't know, I'm just kind of digressing here. But so beyond,
Yes.
because this is kind of my podcast, so I kind of go into different areas. But uh who else would you say, um who else has approached you? Like what other ideas have been thrown out to you, right? Like besides me, or have I only been the first guy that have really approached you about all these wild ideas in my fantasy factory, right? Because
No,
like how you were talking about a building, dude. Mi casa es tu casa. I know, or tu casa, that I know I'm pretty far away, but it's like, that's why I have the mentality that I do. Like I'm sitting here like, all right, let's do it.
well, that gap will be bridged soon enough.
Sure,
So,
sure. Once
that's
the
just the
Cobra's
time thing.
over. Yep.
Exactly. So, whatever, time will tell.
Yep.
But for now, actually, I just started this. I had a vision of trying to beat Instagram's algorithm. And so what I've done is I've went backdoor. I invited every artist I could from my following and people I know. I reached out with a message saying, I want you to join this WhatsApp group.
Oh, great.
I'm orchestrating this. So once I got, like this is the first year, it came out of 2 days. I pulled this together, and so far I've got 10 people involved
Wow.
that are willing to do this. So
Wow.
what it is, we get to this group, we exchange addresses. I get everyone's address. I'm going to randomly pair them up. I'm going to tell the pairs the address that they're sending a package to. Okay, so the package is only going to have like things that you're willing to ship of your work to promote yourself and what you do.
Oh, wow.
So now you're going to get a sort of secret Santa package by an artist you don't know, maybe you don't know, or whatever, right? So now you're going to see maybe an art that you didn't see before, or maybe you did, but you wanted to collect. So now as artists and artist group, we're going to be able to collect every year. Hopefully it grows. We'll collect new pieces at the same time reaching new demographics across the
Oh,
world.
I like
So
that.
right now, I've got about 10 people. I've got Albania. I've got Canada. I've got the States. I've got Norway. I've got the Netherlands. So it's already kind of taken off a little bit. Some people didn't want to do it, but you know what? I think it'll just take a little bit of time for that too.
Yeah.
But once you get your package, you do an unboxing on your platform, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, so that their platform sees your art. Boom. So we go backdoor on the algorithm and then bring it back after we've exchanged.
Yeah, I love it. Because I think being able to do product photography and then also to be able to talk about the product and have it in the background, that different props, that I think that's something that's very underestimated. That, sure, I've got this big green screen, but am I using the green screen? No, I'm using the background, right? That, not saying that anybody could have a green screen, but these doors behind me kind of show the grandness. And if I really would like to, I would rather have, like for example, obviously I could move my camera here, but that when we have the wider shot, did you see the painting over there? Or not the painting,
No,
but the graphic design? No. But
no, I
like I
missed it.
basically have two walls that are probably about 5 foot by 13 foot, right? On both sides. I want to put something up there, right?
Hell yeah.
Where, then I could back the camera even further up and then have even more epicness of the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
So different things like that, where if people would be within this club, right? And what are you calling it? A club? A membership?
Well, So far, it's called 89Fergsart Holiday Swap Network. Like,
Okay.
you know, it's raw. It's raw.
Okay. Well, and that's where I come in, to kind of be like, all right, well, because I have, a lot of different brands that obviously people would have to go for it. And obviously people could have different coupon codes as well to the different companies, because what we also would need is that back end data, as far as like, hey, through our codes, so and so traded this much XYZ. So then as a company, if we were to, let's say, grow, then that back end data would be impressive to be able to wheel out there and be like, hey, here are our best performers. And then we then co-sign them, sign them to contracts, and then just make them be the face of the, similarly to Charlie D'Amelio or whatever with TikTok,
Oh, yeah.
that it's almost like a TikTok for sharing. It's kind of like a show and tell. We need to just create the show and tell app, and
Yeah, but
that's
it's got to be physical. It's got to be physical.
or
You got to
show
be
and
physically
share, or
show and share.
send and share, or
Because
share and
that's the thing
send,
is like
or send
in
and
this day and
share.
age, man, you can't tell. Like if I do a spoon painting on Instagram, you can't tell the texture and the detail and the depth. So
Until
you
you
have to
have
get,
it. Yeah, yeah.
you have to see it, right? So if I can't reach you, or like, and the algorithm fucks me, then I need to get you a physical piece. So I'm going to
Yeah.
send you a little piece that I'm willing to ship myself. It's an investment in myself.
Yeah.
And I want you to do it once a year, like every artist should. If you're not, like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? Like, get your art out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea. I think there's a lot of people that I know that would be definitely on board with that. And is there anything on your camera? Because there's kind of like a black. There we go. That'll help.
But
There we go. I should have said that. The producer and me, I just wanted to go ahead and help you there.
is it better?
Yeah, there's still
Okay.
like a little bit of darkness, but maybe it's just the light. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's good.
Maybe too bright.
And that's the thing with Total Potential, that I like bringing people on and having that media experience, so then when they have that next opportunity, they kind of have had some more experience. So
Yeah.
tell me, like, what experience have you had media wise? Have you been on different podcasts? Who has all reached out to you? Like, talk a little bit about that. Like, who has helped you be successful?
Who hasn't?
Media wise, man, I have no experience media wise, to be honest. Like, this is my first podcast.
You're in a gallery.
I've been in an art gallery.
A whole bunch of
Yeah,
we won't get into that. I don't know how deep we want to get into that, but we'll definitely give them something to check out.
Yeah, one day they'll know. They'll know.
Yep. We're
Yeah,
diplomatic here.
But that's about it. That's why, like, since being in that gallery and going through that experience and not having the best experience, that's why I want to be the art gallery, to change that for people coming up. It's so hard to get into galleries.
Oh, the art gallery. Be the art gallery sounds pretty good. It's kind of like YouTube. Yeah. It's like, be the art gallery.
Exactly, be the gallery. And like, I've taken an approach to, I can't carry my canvases around. Like, I mean, I could, but I don't want to. Yeah. So what I've done now is I'm printing my clothes with my artwork. I have my own clothes that I get made that have my artwork all over it.
Oh, wow.
So now walking down the street, somebody sees it, they're like, what is that? Where'd you get that? Like, you can't get that anywhere else. You're not seeing that anywhere else.
An idea that just came into my mind, I'm sorry. Like, you could contact Airbnb owners and say, hey, I'll put my art in your Airbnbs if you just let the people know that they're for sale.
That's a good idea.
That was an idea that just came to me. That's my dream. I want to buy a bunch of Airbnbs, so I'm going to have your artwork in the Airbnbs. But what I'm saying is, my dream would be to travel around to different Airbnbs, find owners that I got along with, buy their properties, and then hire them to run the properties, right? Like, that would be the dream. And then we could just screw around at these different properties and just, be like be like a
Let's
more
go.
moderate Dan Bilzerian. We'll be a little bit more chill, but we'll all have trailers, right? We'll have the spoon painting trailer, we'll have the Reiki trailer, we'll have the media trailer, we'll have the massage trailer, and we'll
Oh,
just pull these puppies up to all these Airbnbs, and we'll say, hey, you guys have this giant backyard. We'll build a studio in your backyard, a barn, and we insulate it, right? And then most of the people that come to the Airbnb won't have access. But if we're in town, like you said, a smart studio where I'd like you to consult me on my construction, that how can we make this contactless, right?
yeah.
How can we make Airbnbs contactless? How can we make studios contactless? And that at the end of the day, wouldn't it be nice to be able to go to an Airbnb and also have access to a studio in the backyard?
Yeah, right.
Do those
Exactly.
exist?
Not yet.
Exactly. It's kind of like the Airbnb studios, B2B. It's kind
Studio
of like a
because they have those experiences,
You
right?
can be the
So
gallery.
you
like
could
a
look
WeWork type of thing. It's kind of like a WeWork. Like that's, and then it's kind of like Mi Casa is Tu Casa, that you'll have a code to the door, right? Like as long as we're in that network that you just mentioned, they'd have access to my studio where, it could kind of be like a community curated, and obviously we'd have to organize it, but I mean, dude, think about it. Sotheby's. We could turn into some fuck, for charity, not just for charity, but also for profit. But like we could set, we could auction stuff off as if it's like eBay, but in real life. Like, why not? Just have some guy like doing some crazy, like
might as well.
get actors, get like different salesmen, and just like make not a joke out of it, but it's like, hey, we've got all this shit behind us, that is just beautiful from everybody around the world. And maybe I shouldn't have used the word shit. That's inappropriate.
No, I say it
That's
all
like
the
I'm
time.
not the business, I'm not the creator, right? I'm like the business guy, right? So it's like my comedy, like I'm thinking about this as if it's a product. I'm sorry, right? I'm not
No, I
the
see it.
inspiration guy. That's why I have, I work my strengths and hire my weakness. So, all right. So we're in the back, we're in Studio B, and it's almost like Santa Claus, right? And Santa Claus has like 30 things behind him. And another thought that I had as well, Amazon reselling, buying stuff by the pallet and almost doing like a QVC type of deal where, so not only could we sell reselling or off-season products, but we could also sell art and different things thrown into the mix as well, but yeah, so without further ado, I mean, do you have any questions for me? That I know we've talked quite frequently over the past few weeks. We had an exciting moment with Adam Sandler's brother, different experiences like that.
Nephew, I think. So yeah, that's whatever. That was cool, but
Exactly. We
that's
don't need to harp too much on it, but do you have any questions for me? After
do-
kind
I
of
do.
getting to know me for the past few weeks.
I do have a question. What
Yeah.
that German crest? Where did we leave off with that?
Yeah,
How do you
I showed my Oma, I showed my mom. Obviously, like you said, it is controversial to edit a family crest, right? And that I knew I was taking risks doing it. And I think that the sun looks super dope, the moon looks super dope. That if we could almost take the sun and moon and replace the sun and moon of the Wappen, like dimensionally, right? Because
Mhm.
the sun and moon kind of look shitty. Let's be honest, right? That if you
Yeah.
could take the sun and moon of the original logo and
Yeah.
then do the proportions the same size of the logo, just to, like improve on the current thing. Where similarly to the eagle, where it's kind of like, how can we make a 4K version of the Wappen? Where it's kind of
Yeah.
like we want the same Wappen, but how can we make it as because it's like, who the hell designed that? It was probably somebody with a fucking pencil, you know what I'm saying? 3,000 years ago. So it's like, how
Yeah.
can I make the 4K vector version of the logo, right? Like that's what I'm trying to do, where I got to keep it respectful, but your sun and moon look fucking dope. That's like that really blew me away, right? So thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
No
and
problem.
that
That was fun to do.
yeah, I appreciate it. And I know I won't forget it. I'm glad that I've been able to get you on the podcast. Um and like I said, that's my feeling on it, that I think um yeah, like I said, the sun and moon were fucking kick ass. And then the eagle, that I think I've seen it with the eagle with the head off.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, because I mean that was I'm trying to think. I mean, do you have any questions more about that or something else? I don't know where to go with that.
No, it's all good. It's all. I was just curious because I didn't hear after you said you wanted to show your dad, so I was just
Yeah,
curious.
exactly. That, yeah, like I said, their feedback was that it's, like you said, that it's weird to redesign a family Vapen.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
Yeah,
like that was
exactly.
the reply, and that's
Yeah.
where what we got to, and it's just for shits and giggles. And I know a lot of people obviously probably waste your time on a lot of like personal shit that means nothing to you. So it's like hard to like deal with that all the time. So how has that been? Like interacting with clients, like having commissions, like what has that whole process been for you? Learning that process.
That's a pretty good question because, yeah, it's a learning curve right from the start. You don't really know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
And like the first person could be the best person, it could be the worst person, or it could be you don't even know yet, right? So far what I've learned is kind of to establish myself and my limits and everything early and bluntly. And as long as it's written, like that's the most important thing, that they've had the opportunity to read it. If they didn't, that's not my problem. But also I've had really good feedback from, I'd say, over 90% of my clients that have had me commission anything for them. And I've worked back and forth with them happily, really well. Everything goes back and forth. I like to show them updates and how it's coming along, and like if they have any critiques, that's cool. Lately, or not lately, but like one recent commission, every picture I've sent, it's just been like, awesome. Can you change this? Awesome. I love it. And it's like, holy hell, like what?
Yeah, it's like, are they paying you to create something, or are they like and that's hard, that with any job, is it what you think is best? Are they paying you for your capabilities, or are they just kind of trying to live out their own wet dream?
I know, exactly. It comes to that. And then it's like, you can't say that, obviously.
Well, you know what I do? Dude, I'll tell you right now. You ready for this? I'm about to blow your mind. The first thing that I would ask when I would be on a detailing job is, what specific spots bother you on a daily basis, right? So then right off from the bat, I would make sure that, if they're driving in their car, they're going to know what specific spots bother them, which are the reason for them paying me $300, right? So what I may say is, when you're going to start a commission, maybe say like, hey, out of this photo, what are the specific details that you want me to focus on, from the very beginning?
That's not a bad idea. And, like after this last one, I probably will do something like that, but I don't like to give them too much.
But keep in mind, dude, and that's from my business consulting opinion, is that
I like
sadly, as your partner, it's all about product. And that on the bigger commissions where you actually care about, let's break the fourth wall here. I mean, you're doing a photo of a car wheel. That's not, earth-shattering stuff. That, this is products, and I think that's the biggest hurdle that I've dealt with over the past several years, is artists being very emotional and not being able to let go. That everyone
Yeah.
looks at each and every beat as if it's a baby, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, all right, guys, well, give me some beats. And then they give me beats from like 2013. It's like, guys, I want your best stuff. Like, if I'm going to be promoting you, I don't want your
Yeah.
kids from 2013. I want the fresh stuff right now, right? And I think that a lot of artists also I'm not talking about you, we're talking about music now, but because that's obviously my background, and I'm interested in interviewing artists, entrepreneurs, people in the fitness industry with Krista, and now talking to you. That I think that's what finding our total potential is. That I'm a jack of all trades but a master in none, and you are the master of spoon painting. That is just a part of the Justice League that we are creating.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. That's awesome.
The master of
like in my room, I have like a desk, and like it's super long desk. I'm like, man, the Last Supper photo would look so great up there, like super long. My desk, that's like a boy can dream. So one of the big things that we talked about was it's not the greatest idea to ship. It would make the most sense at one point for you to come out for an extended period of time, whether or not it's an RV or, that's really what I would love to create would be almost like a co-working, co-living space where, you could create, and whether or not it would be almost a virtual gallery. That I'm looking at a $7,000 camera net right now called the Matterport for real estate photography that actually does like specific. You know what the Matterport is, right?
No, I don't, but it
Okay,
sounds
so
unreal.
it's like virtual tours of homes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea would be is we would do a gallery in the studio and then shoot the studio with that camera, create a 3D rendering in virtual space of the gallery, and then switch all the paintings into different positions, and then do it again, do it again, do it again, do it
That's what
again.
we need to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what this has come to, and it like that's the best way, I guess, to virtually get the depth of these paintings and anyone's art.
Oh.
Right? Because like you're gonna have to dig in and look on an angle.
Wow.
And
Oh
I don't know.
wow. Oh, to get like the dimensions of the painting, like that Matterport better be good. See, it's like you can't even see the dimension. Or is that a what did you paint that with?
That's a spoon painting.
Okay,
The
turn
palm
it
tree.
sideways. Turn it like no, turn it like long ways. Like turn it no, like like do 180 like that, yeah, and then bring it close to me because I want to see the thickness. That's what we want to see right there. Okay, kind of turn it a little bit more. The other way. The other way. A little bit. Yep. Because that's the dimension that you want people to see, right? Like
Yeah.
you want to see
Yeah.
that spoon painting. That if you were to just hold it how you were, like you said, it just looks like a magic marker.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
So,
But dude, it looks badass. I mean, let me look at this for a little bit more. All right. Now that we're done, I just wanted to show the audience the depth here that he is using a spoon to create this. And it's trippy. It kind of gives me like Miami Vice vibes. Like your whole like Last Supper gives me like Miami Vice, GTA, Vice City. Like
yeah,
that's
a few
the
of those
vibes right there.
I love those colors, man. That palette is one of my favorites.
Like
Neon, pinks, and
like
turquoise.
what's like what is it? Baywatch. It's kind of like man, they like I'm sorry, Rock. I'm sorry, Rock. Chris. Not Chris.
Saved
Rock
by the
and
Bell.
Kevin Hart are for children. That's like I can't take any of that stuff seriously. I'm sorry. It's like
I don't know how they even do it, man. I don't even know how they like get through acting those movies. It must be so hard.
Well, I mean, they're making no, not at all. It's not hard at all. They're going right to the bank. Like they're, I admire them. Like I think Rock should be the president, right? That's fine. But what I'm saying is that like that is all that the public are willing to consume right now, and that the whole industry is basically like, okay, all right, take all of our money.
They can
The
do whatever they
Avengers. I
want.
mean, look at the Avengers. I mean, Quentin Quarantino is like the only purist, or one of the only purists, or a purist. I don't really know much. But that I'm just trying to reach my total potential, and that if I'm wrong, I'm at least going to admit that I'm wrong, and that's why I'm having these different influencers on to influence my audience on their own respected mastery or expert
Expertise.
expertise. That I can't sit here and talk about art. Nobody's gonna, what do I know?
You can,
right?
you can though, because art's about how it makes you feel, man. It's not you.
Well,
It's not
when
about
you don't
if
have
it's good or bad.
feelings, and and you're in the Borg, and you have joined Neuralink, and you're a part of the Borg, there are no emotions, right? That
Yeah,
I
well,
have learned. I have
30
learned that there are
seconds.
no emotions in business, and that's why I liked having artists around me to bring that side back out in me, right?
Back to
Flashback 30 seconds ago, you were all talking about the Last Supper painting, and you
Oh, I
loved
love
it.
it. I love it.
Yeah,
And that
see,
it's
that's
kind of like, that's what I'm
talking
missing, that I've been starving of art, that like I've been starving, that I haven't, like, I don't want to say clothing wise, like I don't go out shopping. Like every single penny that I have goes into reinvesting into my business, right? So I don't have money to spend on art, right? So it's almost like and like you said, with this sharing program, it's going to get people art that could otherwise not afford it. So that's great. It's going to brighten up their life. So I'm just living in a white box. Literally all the walls in our house are like white cream cup. Like it's from the 90s. Like it's like 90s swag action. It's nice. But it's from the
Yeah.
90s. It's 90s style. That I would
every
love.
time we go on a live of some celebrity or whatever, like even I just pop on for a second, I see what they're doing, I see their walls are just empty, and I'll just plug in. I'm like, yo, your walls look like shit. Give me a DM or something. Like,
That's what I'm saying. That
one of them will answer it, eh?
yeah. And that with the spoon painting, it brings that credibility that I think, there's a lot of graphic designers out there, and I know you did it the Last Supper graphically too, right? Or was that just
No,
a
no.
photo?
That was just the reference.
Wow. Really? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Really?
Like I just used the actual photo of the Last Supper on my computer so I could see everybody's
okay.
direction.
Well, no, I'm
and
talking
the way
about you sent me a photo of the thing digitally, but was that just a photo of the painting that you made?
which of the Last Supper?
Yeah, of the Last Supper that you did. Because you sent me a photo of it in real life, and then you also sent me a photo of it digitally.
Oh, then it must just be the reference, because I don't have a digital version. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know because there was a few different. Because let me see what I'm talking about. That we're on a podcast. We don't need to. Let me go on your page and see what I'm talking about. Yeah. So right here. So what's this?
Oh, that's a picture of it.
Yeah.
And I edited it to fit Instagram, so it's not a digital.
Okay. So it's a photo of the painting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It looks great, is what I'm saying. That even having this digitally printed and then me printing it out, and then obviously having the original would be great and everything, but you could even sell the poster versions of these.
Yes. So I can make
not
prints
that you
of
want
these
to.
things.
Yeah.
No, exactly. So a lot of them I just do originals. Like one guy commissioned me to do that Biggie. I spoon painted Biggie recently, and he also commissioned me to get prints made for him of poster size.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I wouldn't make prints of these things, because like a lot of people do Etsy shops with prints and stuff, and to me, that's not what I'm going for. I'm not trying to sell a million pieces of, like, I want my pieces to speak for themselves and be like sought after. You know what I
Like
mean?
you said, the credibility, and that's why I
Yeah.
mentioned that. That with your paintings, you're gonna have credibility, and it's a lot of work. I mean, you're putting out a lot of original work. I just got a text real quick. Awesome. I will follow up. Sorry. Okay. And let's take a
chilling.
little intermission here real quick.
Yeah, sounds good. I need to fill up my water.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go. I'm gonna go get a water too. You know, my throat is pretty parched. All right, guys. So, be well for about 2 minutes, and then once you come back, just start plugging yourself, telling people where they can find you. But yeah, let's just go get our waters filled up, and
Sounds
we'll
good.
be back in about 2 minutes.
Babe, I want you to look at these ones too. What do you think?
The green?
All of them.
Yeah, that's still wintry.
Right? Like it's just like flowers, but it looks like winter. This one's for your mom because she said she liked that one. Yep. Mom actually just texted me.
Oh, went to go get a water, fill it up, left it out there. Standard.
Shit, I gotta find that fucking
So I grabbed a couple pieces
So-
to show.
While I'm still getting my water, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you. You know, take a drink.
You can find me on Instagram at 89Fergsart, FERGSART. Also at Facebook with the same name. I have a YouTube channel, but it's growing. If you want to go there, it's the same name as well, 89Fergsart. Give me a subscription, follow, and the faster I get to 1,000 subscribers there, I can go live and start YouTubing more frequently. For now, I have to settle for Instagram, and it's not that great. I got a couple of things here I can share. Just a minute here.
look at the little note. Sorry.
My profile pic on Instagram. Can't miss it.
Found it.
89Fergsart. Spoon painter. Original spoon painter. The weapon.
111.
The weapon.
Oh, nice. So is that the spoon? Like, does it matter what kind of spoon it is?
No, you know what's funny? I actually got a question on one of my lives the other day, and the guy said, this might be a silly question, but it's not a silly question. That's a legit question. I started out using just a kitchen teaspoon, tablespoon.
All right.
But
so, like the one thing that I want is I need a framed with like a piece of cardboard behind it, not cardboard, but canvas with your signature, and I need one of the spoons. That would be like a collector's item. And almost kind of like if there was like two metal bars and a bit of like a hook to where like the spoon could kind of just hang there, right? Like my
Yeah.
grandma has like a cabinet for her like collector spoons.
Yeah, we have one of those.
Right? Oh yeah.
We haven't seen it.
Yeah, we actually
Like
have one of
tiny
those.
spoons.
Yeah,
Hey!
yeah, they used
yeah.
to.
One
I used
day-
to
Oh, we're fan. Yeah.
see. So I have like
Spoon gang.
I have
Spoon gang.
big spoons,
Nice. Yeah, ours aren't
like-
big. Mine are small. Small spoon.
and these are from like a thrift store or something that Nicole found me when we went
Yeah, and
antique
she's
shopping.
more than welcome to be on camera if she wants to, or that, and we can do that on another podcast too. But
We move it
She'll be in the background.
Yeah.
other's
Okay.
she's not too. She's
Yeah,
around.
not
I'll
we'll
too.
talk though.
no, it's all
Hear
good.
me.
Well, you're more than welcome. That this is a family-owned commercial real estate operation. So,
Well, she's a really talented watercolor artist at Danger Cat Design on Instagram. If
Oh, there
anyone
you
wants to go check out some of that too. Tony, I brought some pieces here to show you.
all
on
right,
the
let's
camera.
see it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, dude.
Gotta step back for that.
Yeah, I could imagine that above my desk in my room, right across from my bed. That's what I see right there. Man, that's badass. Yeah. And
That's
did you do your own? So like you did the commission, then you made your own, or what is that?
No, this one's the only one. There's no commission. I just wanted to do that myself.
All right. So you know what I want from you? I want to see the profile view of it. I want to see the dimension of the cuz that's what I like to see. Like, yeah, turn it a little bit oh yeah. There we go. Like almost keep on turning it a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, see, it's like, because that's the thing, when you're using a spoon, it's almost like a 3D painting, right?
Yeah.
And you must go
You
through a lot of paint.
You
right?
still can't see it from that camera view. You literally have to run your finger
Yeah,
over
that's
it.
what
You know?
yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to let people see.
It's so hard from the camera, man. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty much impossible because even when you see it in person, you don't even realize. Like I have to tell most people that was painted with a spoon. Otherwise, they just think, "Oh yeah, that's abstract."
I'm trying to
That's
think.
it. They leave it at
I'm trying to think. Like,
that. Like watch the colors of this one change.
oh. It's almost
Yeah.
like a shiny Pokemon card, right? It's kind
Yeah,
of like
exactly.
or a
Very-
Yu-Gi-Oh card that's like a shiny, or what's it called?
Holographic.
A holographic.
There, now
It's a holographic painting.
Totally.
This is yeah. Man. And like the best of me would want to actually, I mean, another thing would be like, how badass could you make like a mural on the ceiling? Like as if it's like the 16th chapel? Like would that last a long time? You
I
think?
mean, you just have to finish it with some sort of finishing
Lacquer?
coat, but that would be
Or
crazy. Yeah.
These are really big ceilings.
Well, because let me tell you guys ready for this? Oh, yeah, that's great too. That LeBron James his production crew has a 18-foot crane, and I have a 13-foot ceiling, but it's not load supporting, so I could technically take out the ceiling, and I'd have another probably 10 foot. So I'm going to have like a light bar or a light box that, let's say, goes over at 18 foot. But then we're still going to have the cathedral ceilings in the case that, let's say, we take the cloth down from the softbox, right? Like in a perfect world, like let's say we get rich, like this is what would happen, right? How badass
Yeah.
would it be? Would be a cathedral type of ceiling and do like the spoon as like like at the 16th chapel, basically. You know,
Yeah,
but
that'd be
and not even. I mean, it could be that design, but it could be your own design too. Like you'd have to come up with your own thing. But that's why I'm telling you now, because it's a 2 to 10 year plan. That whatever I talk about, it's always 2 to 10 years, right? Down the line. So never get too what's the word? A lot of people get aggravated by my vision. That I think a lot of people see the short-term gains and doesn't plan for the long-term vision and the long-term gains, right?
Yeah.
And that was, so let's keep on looking at some cool stuff.
She said I work on the long term, just the
Nice.
same.
love
Yeah,
it. I
no,
love
me
it.
too.
I love
It
it.
works like
And that's why we're all
that,
friends. I love it.
Definitely be analyzing. This one, Tony, I did last night in charcoal.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But that's just some fun warm up shit.
And this is your studio?
Yes, this is studio, aka second bedroom.
And take your
But
time.
yeah.
Take your time. Make sure everything's fine. That's the thing about the podcast, man. It is so open ended. Like, who am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just some random guy from like the Midwest with a bunch of camera shit going, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, this is just,
No
we're just
problem.
hanging out,
Yeah, exactly. What else would I be doing right now?
Exactly.
I'd still be hanging out, so
Gross.
might as well be sad.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Yep. So, what other things you have in your mind? That I know you mentioned maybe doing something more. What kind of I don't know. What different ideas do you have? Like, or other questions for me? Or I mean, what would you like to talk about? I mean, this is a casual podcast, or we can always.
I'm curious, like with your plans with this stage and whatnot, like 2 to 10 years, what's the first step we take to for now? Like, yeah, we're talking about it, but what's our
the major preface of this whole thing would be getting a free sponsorship by Monster, and then we could leverage that Monster sponsorship to lock in other sponsors. That ViewStub, which I'm an ambassador of, is giving us the opportunity, and is also giving anyone else the opportunity to have virtual and also in-person pay-per-view events. So without any fees, totally pay-per-view, and you're actually able to withdraw that money from that event as well. So what we're planning on doing right now is building the infrastructure for different ad buys, right? Whereas if we could, through architecture, through design, create different packages, such as a $3,500 option of, let's say, the Monster Stage, or View Stub Stage, or Lyrical Lemonade Stage, right? Whoever is the headlining sponsor, we would design some sort of banner for them specifically, and it wouldn't change, right? That's, let's call it $3,500, the headlining sponsor. Then when you look at the side panels of the stage, we're going to have 4 pillars, and each of the 2 sides of the stage is going to have monitors that, pre-production are just going to be green screens, and then post-production we're going to add in the ads, where before the show they would have different advertisements for, let's say, $100 up to $1,000, right? People that would want to be advertised throughout, the better part of the show, right? And it would change pretty frequently. But when the DJ was actually on the stage, it would be his visualizations, right? It wouldn't be super,
of course,
cheesy, right? We're not gonna have. It's not gonna look like the Google sidebar, right? Like, actually, when the performance is going on, we would use the screens as the visualization, right?
Show enhancing, yeah.
Exactly. Besides the headlining sponsor, like the headlining sponsor, would have like a more physical banner that you may design, whatever. Like if we could make it look cooler than, me just on Illustrator typing it in, but
Yeah.
that's all up for you to decide. But, okay. So like I said, the headlining sponsor, the side monitors, and then maybe in the perfect world, it would almost be like The Sims, where there would also be like a merch stand, where like within this 3D space, you could also buy merchandise within this 3 acre by 6 acre plot. So then you could like go to a shop, but it's like more virtual.
Yeah. It's
That's
like
another idea that I had. Or art, you could have a virtual art gallery. How like most festivals have an art installation, right?
yeah,
But you would just have like that Matterport thing. You would just be a part of the festival as the art director.
And that would be awesome to do that. That would be cool.
So that's the plan.
So yeah,
I'm having like an outer body experience, because it's like I have so heavy vision that like I started having like an outer body experience when I start like telling these ideas, because it's like I'm gonna do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so
I'm not
much
kidding.
enthusiasm.
Like,
I know, I love it.
and it just like I'm just having like an outer body experience. Like it's killing me. Or maybe it's
So
like
what's
I've been
step
drinking too
one?
much tea.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing.
And I've
So
been
what's
on
step
like
one? Like that's the vision. What's step one right now, today, tomorrow? Like what can
build
we
the
do?
stage, build the monitors, and then Monster either says yes or no, and if they say no, we go with a view stub stage, and that's basically the
Okay.
direction. We already have it all locked in. That it's just a matter of having those meetings. I have a meeting with Vinny on Tuesday to kind of go over the actual presentation.
Sweet. You
And
have drawn up plans or what?
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. I have everything mapped out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
No, I love it, dude. And this is also like the second podcast that I've been on today, and I'm getting like pretty tired. And
I bet,
drinking
man.
all this
And
tea
you're
and
2 hours
stuff.
ahead, right?
And we're gonna have you back too. That I know this was a long time coming, but where can people find you again?
On Instagram at 89Fergsart, Facebook, YouTube, all the same tag. And next time I come on, man, I'll spoon paint live with you or something while we shoot.
And just chill out.
Yeah, like I have one kind of ready to go.
Yeah, I love it. Well, what I would say is while I take a break, start spoon painting, and we're just live. I'm gonna go like hang out and chill, and you just start painting. All right.
Well, this one's not quite ready yet, but it will be soon.
Well, dude, just start paint, or you're not. Oh, you're not ready to paint now.
Well, it sort of is. I'll get ready. It's
That's
all
what
good.
I'm saying. Like we're just gonna be streaming, and I'll just
Sounds
like even
good.
take myself out, even if I can, and just do.
Yeah.
No. I'll still have my half, and just it's whatever. So what
That's
I would
fine.
say is, dude,
Bear
just
with
hang
me for a
out.
second.
Yeah, exactly. This is your live, so I'm gonna go hang out and relax, and then I'm gonna watch this on my phone. I'm gonna go like hit the hot tub and like watch you paint like in
son
the
of a bitch.
studio. All right,
Okay, man.
I'm gonna go relax, and then I may be back, dude. I may fucking go
Sounds good.
relax, and I may be back, dude. So give me a
Sounds
second.
good.
Just needs a fiver. Serious five.
All right, guys. Yeah, I just had to take a little bit of break. I had too much tea, too much caffeine. Kind of freaking out.
Fuck, it's just making it worse. There's a show?
Outside. I hear yelling like. This is pretty. Whoa.
What's going on out there?
And I needed to eat something real quick, but I appreciate your guys' patience.
No problem.
And I enjoyed, the music, but like I said, from like a media standpoint with copyright, now I'm probably gonna have to go in and see what parts were copywritten, so that I'm either gonna have to mute them or. But that's all this is for, right? It's experience. It's 1,000 ways how not to do something, right? And through that experience, we can then improve the media experience. Where how fluid was that, right? Like I almost wish I could have made you full screen. That kind of didn't make sense, this, but it kind of gives people perspective of where you're at. What did you think about that? That was pretty cool.
No, that was fun. Yeah, I'd be down to do that more for sure. Like it's
and to do it
I've been
planned,
What's that?
And to do it planned. And then what I can do is Dropbox you the footage, and we'll do it full screen with you, right? Where this side really doesn't make sense for it just to be sitting here. Like what I would do is maybe sit with you, talk for about a minute and a half, intro it, and then make you go full screen. That I just am not sure how to. Let me see.
Well, and you can keep talking to me while I'm.
Look at this. You see this?
There you go. Hey.
All right, so that's probably what I should have done before I left. But
that would have worked.
Yeah, so that's the different experience that I haven't ever done that before. But after that, Donnie guy jumped in. He was talking about his military service, that he was actually on a prison ship, and he was talking about his experience as a bad boy on the prison ship, that they had it rough too, that he actually got in trouble, and he was like in the prison for the military. Like, so it's like a military prison on a prison ship, right?
What a paradox.
Exactly. It sounds like a movie that we're going to produce in Studio B.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so he was just telling me that deep shit, and I was like, I don't know what to tell this guy. It's like, would have you rather been in jail, like in general, like society, or in the military? And he's like, well, I would have not liked to have been in both. Well,
fair enough.
That's a hell of an answer. And I was like, but it's hard, that it's like, I have no experience about that. So it's like, how am I can't say anything. It's like, I mean, have you had any obstacles in your life? Like, has there any, obviously you work, in a more traditional construction gig. Like, what has those obstacles been?
Oh, wow. I know, like the typical obstacles anybody goes through, heartbreak and loss and that type of pain. And, you go through it without knowing how to go through it, but you go through it, and you that's when you find out who needs to be in your circle and who it doesn't need to be in your circle, right? And from there, that's where you start the growth.
Yeah, that's big.
I don't want to go too much into it because it is.
No,
it
and
is
I think
like
we're all lucky, finding people that are like-minded. That my close group of friends, at any sign of trouble, they basically split. So for me, as an only child, living in the middle of nowhere, it's nice to have different, friends that obviously we're friends for a purpose, but guess what's fun? Working with your friends, making money for your friends, making money together, that work should be fun. This 80 years or 100 years that we're on Earth, that we're kind of trying to reinvent the wheel over and over again. Like, we're not living, that we're still stuck in the Industrial Revolution mentality, that school is basically a glorified daycare.
Exactly. Nicole used to work at a free learning school where it was kind of like learn what you want when you want, and the teacher, she would be there to curate
Democratic
open learning society.
Yeah. But the only problem is what people don't realize is school is not about the learning, it's about the people that you learn with and the camaraderie and the emotional bond that you develop with your classmates versus the class work. Because then when so and so's daddy owns a company, they'll remember you and then give you a job. That's the purpose of school. And how much money can you afford to be around the certain circle that is going to produce, those type of jobs where, for example, my German club, like I haven't particularly gone per se jobs out of it, but I have gone, lawyer connections, different things like that, where if you're not a part of a larger body, you're put at a disadvantage because you already don't have the mentality that, unfortunately, with corporations, it's kind of like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. That corporations are basically just groups of people that are, striving to be mutually beneficial. So what we basically need to do is create an independent corporation, similarly to what Elon talks about on Mars, where an independent democracy where every vote counts. It's easier to remove laws than it is to put them in, that a much more, and something else that I suggested, writing my own constitution, that at this point, I think our current constitution is not just so dated, or at least everybody looks at it that way, that it's almost like I want to get an island that's like 2 miles out. I don't know where, like off of what country exactly, to be disclosed. But I don't know if you guys have ever heard Atlas Shrugged. Have you guys ever heard of the movie Atlas Shrugged?
No.
So it's like all the people in the society that are kind of like, the barons of industry, like, and even the best pianist, like anybody that provides a mutually beneficial thing, they just decide to leave society. Like because of so much regulation or so much crackdown or so much, that they just decide to leave. Where, hey, if you're playing basketball and people are fouling you, you take the ball and you go home, right? That it's kind of one of those situations where if you can't beat them, join them. And then rather than trying to tear down whatever is already existing, rather we need to have like a Magna Carta with, like what are the boats? The Santa Marina. But what we would do is we would have like RVs that would then go into our yacht. So it'd be like a yacht that could fit an RV, and then the RV yachts would then go to the island, and then we'd just be chilling.
There we go.
It'd be like Fire Island 2.0, but for us.
I was just gonna say that.
It's like the RV park that we're gonna build at the studio, but it'll be on the island or on Mars, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like we're building a colony here, and let's write a constitution where it's like, hey, here, let's update this shit. That
what's your first constitution change?
Well, I think it's well-versed that it's all about the happiness quotient, right? That, rather than GDP, it's, the happiness index, right? And obviously work is a part of that, industry is a part of that. But obviously I'm not a politician, right? I'm just, what's the word? The idea guy, I guess. But like I'm not the Hancock, you know what I'm saying? I'm the like I don't know. I don't know too much of the background, but and I'm also talking from like an esoteric standpoint as well. Like I'm not being totally serious. I'm saying like a constitution as far as like that business that you were talking about, like kind of the morale of the company where like we're trying to be pioneers. We're trying to do something different, right? That most things now are super saturated. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, for sure. It's very hard to stand out in pretty much everything nowadays. And it's easy for anyone to do a lot of it now too.
Yeah. Anybody can go to Best Buy and buy a camera. You know, anybody can watch instructional videos on YouTube. That we're just kind of reinventing the wheel. And when you think about it, dude, we're like wasting our lives away staring at black boxes. Like, sure, there's a lot of cool like lights and pictures and stuff on it, but like literally, we're spending our days like staring at black boxes, and it's just like a
I
figment
know.
of our imagination. You know what I'm saying?
How
This
sad.
sucks. This sucks,
How sad.
right? Like we're just getting tricked into fucking looking at like black screens all day. This sucks. I gotta do it because this is our current, you know, business. But it's like, who wants to stare at screens all day? I mean, there's got to be something better, you know. But the only
Yeah,
way
the
that we're gonna reach that,
screen.
what's up?
The ultimate goal is to be the one to break away from that screen and be the one that
Exactly.
everyone else is still looking at on that screen. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
god, that's
That's a painting right there.
that's deep. See, and
That's a painting.
that's the whole mentality of if AI were to become aware, they'd be like, oh well, you know, there's all this bullshit going on, like,
We
because
wouldn't stand a
that's
chance.
yeah, because it's just like a giant circle jerk, you know. And a lot of times, a lot of these big corporations, they actually get a lot of their investment dollars based on how quickly they can help people become successful, because in reality, the consumers aren't the products, the celebrities are the products. And that
Yeah.
the more that you have on social media, the more time that you are going to spend. And that, sure, you know, consumers, they come onto the platform fine, but think about it. Who's the ones that's spending the most time? The people with the most followers, the people with the most subscribers. That the
Yeah.
actual product is in making people celebrities, because the more attached you are to the platform, the more time you're going to play on the platform.
This
That's
is
just
true.
basically like a hoodwinking game of, hey, everybody needs to be, you know, not instead of 15 minutes of fame, it's, you know, all these I don't want to say nobody people that it's just like,
It's like a draw. It's like the claw game. Like which one
oh
will come up,
wow. Oh wow.
right?
Yeah.
Pick one. You get like 15 minutes, like you say, basically, and then we're picking another one, and then
Yeah. But they do it
You-
like it's in the algorithm on purpose. And it's kind of
Yeah.
like we just got to make content, and that we're kind of like putting in tickets, and that we'll just be
Exactly.
waiting for our ticket to be called. But guess what? At least we're like in the game. Like I've got a lot of
Yeah.
friends that are like, "Oh wow, you know, plumbers, you know," and they're like you know, excuse me, for real, they're like you're in media. I wish I would have done that. And I said, excuse me, one of the ideas that I have is Amazon reselling, right? How I talked about that.
Yeah.
That I've got a couple like non-media related ideas. What type of non-related media ideas do you have? Like something more like product based, like
Whew.
something that you would like to sell a lot of, or do you just want to get lucky on a painting?
No, oh well, that would be the ultimate, right? But no, also, well, not just lucky, but I would love to be like flown in and like do commissions live or like walls like in their house, like you know what I
Oh
mean?
wow.
Like if a celebrity wanted a spoon painting portrait of themselves done on the wall or whatever, or a canvas, I don't give a shit, but shit like that would be a ticket to travel. I think that's ultimately what I want, is a ticket to travel and see things, but like be able to do it on the dime of me doing that, you know, like I don't want it for free. I don't want a free ride, but I want to be able to go see this shit and do it, something I love while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So for non-media related ideas, back to the question you asked, I always had, I have a couple ideas. Like, I don't know, when I was a kid, I always thought, why the fuck does a vacuum have to make such a dumbass noise? Why can't that play music?
Oh,
You know,
wow.
it's just frequency. Why can't we like,
what about a leaf blower too?
yeah, anything
Yeah.
that makes noise like that? Why the fuck can't it play music? You know, like why it's
Oh,
just
it's
a
almost
freak.
kind of like your bike wheel. Like, you know how you put the card on the bike wheel? That it's almost like you just got to make like a guitar innards. Like, what if you were to put a leaf blower inside of a guitar, or inside of a flute, or inside of
Or something Just figure out something
like
that
a flute blower, like a electric flute. It's an electric flute.
there you go.
We just created
Yes,
the first electric flute.
some shit like that. I got
That's an
ideas for
electric
like
flute, dude. It's gonna blow a shitload of air, and you just gotta play it like a flute, and it's gonna be loud as shit.
yeah,
That's gonna
and
be
it's
that.
gonna
That would be
sound good.
crazy, like a PVC pipe, or maybe some bronze. That would cost a lot of money to do it in bronze, or But yeah.
Premium. But no, like when you're doing shit like that, like you wake up and you hear the leaf blower outside, like why can't that just be like some classical music sound or something? I don't know. Like
Oh, I love it. No, and it
know,
would
it
kind of be
doesn't-
like copyright-free music.
yeah,
I mean, the only other option would be literally putting a Bluetooth speaker on the blower or on, I mean, even compressors, like air compressors.
yeah,
Like,
anything that's loud and annoying.
dude,
Man.
you're in construction, yeah. So, and that's what we're doing now. We're under construction, so I see what you're saying. But it would all have the frequencies would have to like link up with Bluetooth where everything's playing the same song. That would be the only concern. Because what if there was like several leaf blowers or several this or several that or a leaf blower, a compressor, and a this or that? Like, how would we? It would be through 5G probably, but like.
Well, it's no difference than when you're at the beach and everybody's got their own music
Oh
playing.
yeah,
You
I
just
guess
keep
so.
walking, you don't hear it, right? It's whatever. We shouldn't be concerned about that.
Yeah,
just
true,
if you don't
true.
walk away. All I'm trying to do is improve
Yes,
the
yes.
experience.
No, I see. Like you gave me the inspiration, and I'm taking it to step 2, right? Like, dude, we could put a leaf blower inside of a tuba, right? But then, could you leaf blower with a tuba?
Well, no, that's not practical or
No,
easy.
but how? Or like a horn. What if you put a leaf blower in a horn, and then you could play the notes as you leaf blow?
I'm trying to manipulate the frequency that
okay, so explain how you would do it.
So the power that comes from the leaf blower blowing, you're blowing the wind, right? Like that, or the wind is blowing, that's what's making the noise, and the motor. You need to change that noise frequency into a frequency where, as humans, we enjoy listen to. I don't know what that is. But like what? There's Tibetan fucking healing noises. Like let's get some sort of noise like that. Let's heal ourselves, but we don't even know we're doing it.
Okay. Like tuning the engine to a more pleasant sound.
Yes. Okay. Like I don't see why there's no reason we can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even cars could run at a frequency that heals the human body that is subconscious.
I like that. I don't know how to do that.
I'm an idea guy too. I got ideas for days.
That. But no, I like things that I don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that means it's a good idea. I've never thought.
And I'm hoping it reaches someone that might know.
Exactly. And that's why I liked my last partner, because he would come up with good ideas that I didn't think of. Where it's like that's the whole point of getting together like this. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want another one?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
So your kitchen, right? Your backsplash.
Yeah.
It's just tile. Well, why can't we incorporate like vertically hanging herbs and spices that grow right in the kitchen that are manipulated right into the plumbing to be fed with water and grow
like a drip system?
Yeah, like it's hydroponic almost, but we also have
and then
grow
you could
light.
almost like have veins in the roof to give you rainwater too, and then it could like go into the system.
Well, yeah, it would come down the wall, whatever, feed it. But you also have the grow lights under the cabinets to keep them growing, and then you're just sitting there chopping up your vegetables, and you cut off some parsley or some oregano right in front of you. You don't even need to go to your deck in the winter because you can't grow anything out there.
Yeah,
and it's right there in the kitchen, and it smells good, looks good. Bugs or whatever, you can take care of bugs. It wouldn't even be that bad.
No, I like that. And I could even see that like in a scene, just to make that for the purpose of, showing that like as a proof of concept.
Yeah. For sure. That's a pretty easy one to do.
Yeah.
I would love that for myself, man. Like that's one of those things. If I could build a house, I would be working on how can I do this? Who do I have to talk to?
Yeah, smartly, but also with produce in mind.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to like just make a weird flex and break the bank for this. Like
Yeah,
I want
make
it
it
to
like
be
a
useful.
modern thing. Make it like merging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know, we got gardens on roofs of condos and apartments, and like there's like some pretty fancy shit you can get for small decks to have gardens outside. But if you don't have the weather, like we don't have the weather all year,
yeah,
it doesn't work
it's
for
gotta
us.
be inside.
Yeah, and it's not very practical inside either because a lot of things need like a humidity and stuff. But
Yeah.
you're in the kitchen, you have that, you have a fan from the hood fan, and it's definitely doable.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just I think
No,
the world needs to start doing that.
Yeah. No. Functional kitchens, right? Like instead of drywall and asbestos vines, you know.
Moss.
Yeah. And obviously that's going to help your gut flora as well, that you're going to be exposed to things that now that everybody's at home, they can't experience the dirt and that they need to bring the dirt inside. And obviously you don't want to get termites. You want to, have everything in a controlled environment. Like we don't, obviously things need to be, there's maintenance involved. That it's not like you're just gonna wake up one day and with no maintenance, but you aren't gonna deal with things like weeds because there's not gonna be birds dropping off seeds randomly all over the place. And
exactly, it almost gives you a sense of pride too. It's something that you wash the dishes, you clean up the counters. Why can't you clean that up too?
Yeah, you water it right there, and it would obviously already be connected. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's just some of the things I see and want to change.
Vision. That's what I like, to usually wrap things up on. And we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. You guys have been very, very fun. One of the longest podcasts, so it's definitely been a pleasure. We'll see how much of YouTube will let me keep what music that we had on that I may have to cut out and then re-edit, but we'll see what YouTube will do to us.
Sounds bad. Sorry to put you through that
it's
work.
No problem. It's a learning experience that it is what it is. That I didn't mention that. I should have thought of that because music would have made it great. That's like I went.
It's like ASMR shit. Like a lot of people come on live and like, "Whoa, this is so relaxing." And
exactly. I went, took a shower, had a sandwich. Everybody's enjoying their time. This is Stonelick IRL. This is real. This is real life, and this is my life. I love it. That to be able to curate content and be like listening to my channel, like giving feedback about copyright, like while I'm in the shower, like. All right, guys, like, shut down the copyright music. Like, it's going to get shut down, but, I'm in the shower. I can't really do much about it,
Yeah.
It's like the house is on the same property as the studio, so I'm pretty close.
I see.
Yeah, so I didn't know. Did you guys think that I, left?
No. I figured you were just in another room somewhere, like, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You thought I was joking about going into. All right. Well, we'll have this conversation after the podcast. Okay. So, where can everybody find you?
89Fergsart on Instagram and Danger Cat Design on Instagram too for some watercolor art and acrylic painting is what we like to do the most.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about the painting that you did too. Let's talk a little bit about that before we wrap it up.
Which painting are you speaking of?
Did live.
Oh, the one live. So I just recently got this commission actually a couple of days ago, and it's my buddy I went to school with, and he's hiking up a mountain somewhere with his gun, and he asked me to do this painting. He said it's up to me if I want to spoon paint or paint with a brush, and I said I think I can have some real fun with that with a spoon. This is the reference.
Great. And where's that at?
I'm not sure.
That's where we need to build our colony right there.
I will need to ask him where that is. Hold
Nice. Wow. With the water.
Yeah, so he'll be walking up around there.
Great.
This guy.
And what was he hunting? Did he give you any backstory?
You know what? I'm not even sure if he's actually hunting or he just had that for protection for whatever the hell is out there.
Just for hiking.
Yeah. Yes, I'm pretty
And
excited
how
to do
can
that.
people contact you that if they're interested in getting commissions? Is there an email for them to contact? If
Yeah,
so, send it to me and I'll include in the description that if anybody's interested in having a commission made, I will be listing the link and or email down in the description below. So definitely check that out.
For sure. I do commissions. I ship all over, wherever. 89Fergsart DM me or 89fergs@gmail.com. Email me. I reply pretty quickly. So I love working together with people and bringing their vision to life. So if you got something in mind, let's do some work.
Yeah, dude, if you've got a design for a stage like that's more detailed than just 4 pillars and 2, elongated rectangles, let me know. But that would be maybe the second or third show where we're guaranteed money and it's like, all right, let's beef this thing up a little bit,
Yeah.
And like you said, the festival grounds, that if you could do the art direction as far as like, hey, the merch tent over here, the art gallery over here, or it's kind of like Burning Man virtually, where it's like, it would be an outdoor art gallery and or indoor art gallery, whatever you want. So think about that, man. If you don't already know, I'm Anthony Marshall. This has been the second podcast today. I'm over here having panic attacks, drinking far too much tea, trying to stay awake, taking showers, eating sandwiches, eating protein bars, trying to do my best and reach my total potential. So if you had fun on this 2-hour journey here, definitely follow us down below. And as always, we'll see you.